Watch the entire video, my lovely viewers, I mean from start to finish, to get the whole thing. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Hi lovely viewers, it's me again, your one and only Mutati Mpundu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn the bell icon to join the notification squad. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you lovely viewers.
Okay, please make your contribution, but don't call my private line. Call on the number that I've advertised. But I'm giving you an exception because you've appealed. Tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Ted Nkunga.
Okay.
Calling from Kabwe.
Yes.
Yes. Ambassador, I think you have stated very well. I think I've been requesting for this issue, training the AMA agents.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I'm a PF supporter in Kabwe.
Okay.
So, issue of training AMA agents, we know how this government, they are desperate. They are very desperate to return into power next year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we are going to sleep like if to lerewa opposition, I'm telling you, wakaende bukawa pambare 2026. Ikawafe pambare because of what? And the foot ama divisions, ama divisions muli wa opposition. We are fighting ourselves. While the UPND, they are enjoying these fights. Look at the way Chavinga came out. Nefine Wamlambaimbe, the way he came out. It means these people, they are communicating. So, that's what I'm saying. Because me, I reported Chavinga last week on Wednesday. Up to date.
Oh, you reported. You are the one. You are the one that reported Chavinga to the police.
Yes, I reported Chavinga to police on Wednesday.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful.
Yes. So, the Commission of Police, that me, I cannot comment on this issue unless he reamonga. They have not commented over it because they know that they are working with Chavinga. But the truth of the matter, we want to see where this case is going to be. Otherwise, we are going to fight. Me, I'm one of those people who is going to defend and protect the votes in 2026 to make sure that this government should go. I'm fearless. I'm not scared with anyone for the sake of our country. If we are going to be shivering because of this government, I'm telling you there will be no Zambia to talk about 10 years from now.
Yeah.
We need to stand. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Continue educating us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teddy from Kabwe, the gentleman that has reported Chavinga for threatening diplomats, and he said, I'll speak, and I'll speak loudly, and he said he will ensure that his complaint is acted upon. Please call on the number that has been displayed. Let me just confirm again, because it's a local number, but we are using its WhatsApp. Let's just ensure that everything is properly connected, that you call on this number and contribute. Okay, it looks like it's connected. So call on this number and let's hear your contributions. Okay, no, the phone is okay.
I think you know Andrew, some of you. And Andrew was given, Pricewaterhouse was given the work to do up to December, the initial work. So we decided, the president decided we needed to have an initial report to see which direction this thing is going. In the process, some of our cooperating pastors started issuing contrary statements that there's nothing happening in controlling the problems in the cancerous health sector, contrary to what we agreed as a process. So I called a meeting here. We had a meeting like this last Friday. I think it was Friday. And opened remarks, the media left. When we went through, we ended up working together and hugging each other. That's what can happen if people start to issue contrary statements without reaching out to each other. And you find that the work we agreed, what Pricewaterhouse has done is in accordance with the work we asked them to do, the preliminary report, the final report.
Hello. Yeah, please proceed. Yes. Iyo lesale tusunga shana imwe. And
from Leicester.
Thank you, my brother. Please make your contributions.
Yeah, I think I will be getting you back to where you started from, drugs.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just amazing how our government is dealing with things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. Do these guys even have advisors? Do they have people who advise them? Honestly, today, or rather, let me get back to where it started from.
Yeah,
we had Gonzalez.
Mm.
Remember, you served more diplomatic mission.
Yeah, correct.
For him to have gotten to a point where he's just, in fact, do you know, I'll be honest with you, and this is the beauty of technology. Somebody was streaming it live for me. I was warned. I was told he was going to make a statement. So I was watching, and the moment he started speaking about him being personal, I'm like, hang on a second, I think he shouldn't be saying this. But I agreed with him because this was something that was painful to him. It was just painful.
It was no longer work. It was no longer ordinary work.
Exactly. There was no diplomacy there anymore. He says, I've held, and he was saying, He said, I have had meetings, 33 meetings with these people, and they've done nothing. What do we get? Immediately after, Bamwamba, there's a statement released by, who was it?
The Minister of Health, Honorable Elijah Mchima.
Yes.
And he says, no,
Saying
PF with.
we engaged them, we've even taken measures to address this. Now, you wait, and I'm sorry, do you know, there are times that I get carried away. Sometimes I would probably use words which would get me into trouble in Zambia. I'm not here.
No, we want you to go back to Zambia so you can choose your words carefully. Until I change those laws, you have to be careful.
So, okay, what I'm trying to say is, listen, you people, somebody was just telling you that we engaged you over a period of 4 years. You didn't do anything. By the time he was making that press statement, he had already looked at everything and anything. Why are you going to come back and say, "Oh, we had engaged them. We had already addressed the issues that they raised"? it means it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And what do we get today on a Monday? 3 of them, Bamwamba. Did you watch?
Yes. I thought, this is a good
3
one.
of them.
Wonderful
3 of
statement.
them.
Yeah.
Saying the same gibberish.
Yeah. Mm.
And anyway, what I would say to this government is, we've only got 7 months before that 50 million goes. Please tell me how you plan on plugging that hole.
Yeah.
That is what I want to hear from you. And there's no point in saying we've engaged them, blah blah blah, and in the background you are saying we are still speaking to them. It doesn't make sense to me.
No.
My God. We made a mistake. Seriously,
True. That's why I'm saying we Zambians must move to the next stage. How do we secure the vote? It is clear. Many people think that this government has failed and they are looking for alternative. The alternative will come from us, the opposition. We should provide a leader and we should provide mechanisms to secure that vote, to ensure that the expression and will of the people is not subverted or stolen. So thank you very much, Chilufya. Thank you. And how's the weather in Leicester? Is it cold? Is it hot?
Oh no, we had like 21 degrees yesterday and today.
Oh, okay.
So
some good summer. No, thank you for worrying about our country and for always committed to our country. We pray our country will be better. Thank you, Chilufya. Let's pick other calls. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, make your calls to the discussion today. We are talking about the theft of those drugs. It's a continuous topic in light of government reaction today. And we are saying President Hakainde Hichilema has lost the national appeal. He's standing at, we have a caller here. Hello, good evening. Good evening, sir. Are you calling in for the program?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You can switch off your feedback. You can switch off your feedback and then make your contribution. There's feedback on your other device. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yes,
Honorable Binwe Mpundu, independent member of Parliament for Nkana. Glad that you came and joined in, my dear brother. Please make your contribution. Uh-oh. Have I lost Honorable Binwe Mpundu? Hello? Mkwai. Yole salet sunga vanemulishani mwebe nankana. Mkwai. My dear brother, I'm honored that you've joined us. Make your contributions.
Okay, so imecho ninga fokulanda ba mwamba, and I said this I think a year ago, and there were a lot of people that came and attacked me as usual, the pressingers who come, and I said the next election of 2026 will be the second independence struggle for our country, Zambia.
True.
Clearly, it has become very apparent that the people in charge did not come here to save the people of Zambia. They came here to fatten their pockets. Okay? This is the very first time after 60 years when we have a government that is committed or determined not to meet the obligation to the people, but to basically gag and shut down anyone who is holding them accountable.
Yeah.
You know, Your Excellency, Ambassador, that we have been a beacon of, democracy in the region for many years, and those accolades have been held by many who are democratic. It is the very first time today that we've gone as far as, enacting very draconian laws, the likes of the no cyber laws. Now, a government that is determined to shut everybody up using the law cannot guarantee you that they are committed to doing anything for the people. And I have always said, and I copied the saying from the people of the Eastern Province, Abalando Kutila, when a lion attacks a madman in the village, don't ignore, because the royal yo penene nkalamyadio penene mwalaba kwata olishirulira yalya namairo yaisa yalya naumbi upenene amashiru yonse yakumushi ilyenkalamu ikamba okufwaya abatuntulu. And that is what injustice, does. Martin Luther says, an injustice committed to one person is an injustice to everyone. I keep repeating that when our friend, as an example, JJ, was abducted, I was called all manner of, names by a lot of people when we stood up to fight for JJ's case. Today, look at the injustice that has been meted on many people. Today in Zambia, when you become a whistleblower, you now attend from being a victim to a villain.
Including the American ambassador who's being warned.
Exactly. And I've just written a statement where I'm saying the ambassador is only protected by his immunities.
Yes. Kasai Banganaka Bekata. Kasai Banganaka Bekata.
He would have been arrested today because we have a government that wants to shut everybody up. Now, I want to make a request to your ambassador. And I know that a lot of Zambians who are interested in the welfare of Zambia are out with, like you, in other countries. Whereas they managed to gag all of us who are in Zambia through this bogus, this useless law, the cyber law, they would think that they would have won by shutting every Zambian up. Because except me, but what I just want to ask is, please join in the fight for a better Zambia. If we can't speak, if everybody could not help us, we'll provide you with the information. Information
Correct.
Some of us will use the parliamentary privileges even though it's no longer guaranteed. Okay? Ambassador, you know that the law, the parliamentary privileges is not a guarantee anymore for a member of parliament.
Look at the case of Bunia Zulu. Look at the case of Bunia Zulu.
Balamba no kutukaka from the floor of the house. But we are going to fight. To alamba floor to speak about all these atrocities being committed. You know the corruption around the toll gates. Blatant corruption. In daylight. Look at how we have ignored the fuel saga. The economy was almost grounded to a halt. The economy has literally gone to its knees at the hand of one individual. Look at the saga before this drug nonsense, Bamwamba. Look at the 100 million, corruption in the Ministry of Health.
Yes, yes.
Look at the containers. How does the government ignore all those, corruption cases? How does the government, think that we, the Zambians, are so foolish not to see all this, daylight robbery? Mwamba, kubikapo, by middleman in the movement of power.
Of electricity that were power trader.
Northwestern mines over all these years. It has the infrastructure. It is the one that produces power. Middle company.
So let's move to Mkwai.
Be our mouthpiece. Kabira abantu besu muno bonso alina omwenso mulando wamafunda tukalaesha muletu ipusha ko tukalakupera ama information muletu lanjelako since ifo tulimba nomba natukula palulimi lwesu.
Natasha Bane, thank you very much, Honorable Bino Mpundu. Thank you. Let me take this other call. Thank you. Hello, good evening. You are the owner of this program, Chilufya from UK.
Yes, please.
Your other brother, Chilufya from Leicester, has already contributed. I was saying, where is Chilufya? Is he so busy today?
Yeah, no, I was doing something.
Quiet.
Yeah. So, remember, what was the subject today?
Oh, we are talking about three things. The medicine saga, government issued a statement today where they have literally urged the diplomats, they are literally telling the American ambassador to follow diplomatic channels. So I was arguing that statement was threatening and was mischievous because the ambassador had reached them, engaged them over 33 times. And then we were discussing how to protect the vote. I was attributing to a report that was done recently, an opinion poll that has demonstrated that President Hakainde Hichilema only has a national appeal of 34% and below, and that entities that voted for him, non-strongholds like Eastern Province, Muchinga, Luapula, Copper Belt and Lusaka are likely going to vote the opposition, and that he may have voter apathy in the strength of the UPND strongholds such as Northwestern, Western, Central, and Southern Province, because even there they are failing. They are feeling the lack of government presence and services, and therefore I am saying the opposition must move to the next level, where we engage now in a strategy to secure the vote and secure the will that Zambians will express, that will is not stolen. Mkwai.
Okay, yeah. So, Mamamba, on the drugs, I've seen that statement in capital letters. It's really, really sad. To me, that firefighting exercise was unnecessary. Because the ambassador was categorical that they investigated, they gave the report to the government, so they engaged them. But the problem we have, Bamwamba, I'm so sorry. Our UPND government, the government that I supported, is very arrogant. They don't want, they're not humble. And then they want to pass the blame to somebody else. So the blame now is the ambassador. Instead of putting the house in order, all the ambassador is saying, guys, even me, when I go back to America, they will call me to the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
To explain. You'll be quizzed about that. So, and maybe that's why he was crying.
Yeah.
And so they cannot blame that guy. And not only that, if you remember, the secretary to the cabinet also issued a statement. He said Zamsa is a failed project. He actually says it's a rotten system. The system is rotten. And then he went on to say that they had meetings with the USAID representatives. He even mentioned account orders. What do you call them? What do they call them? Account managers for Zambia.
Yeah.
And they discussed these issues. So there's no way the government would come and say, before they speak to them, they use diplomatic channels. So that's not acceptable. They did their best, but they're dealing with the government that thinks they know everything.
Yeah.
And we're dealing with a government that doesn't know that running a nation is stewardship. It's a collaboration with all stakeholders involved in the nation. Even Americans are stakeholders because they give us money.
Yeah.
And then Bamwamba, for as long as we are depending on aid, donor-funded money, we'll never have sovereignty. We'll never have dignity.
No, that's something you trade immediately. As soon as we allow the US, the British, the EU to run our education and health sector and to fund their budgets almost entirely, we surrendered sovereignty to those areas.
Yeah. Hello, Nani. What surprised me was Secretary to the Treasury, Kulukusa, said that 50 million is even smaller. These guys are funding about 600 million every year.
Yes.
So somebody who funds you 600 million,
you expect them to keep quiet?
So there's no way. So, Bamwamba, not until we have a government that starts to realize that God has given us resources and start harnessing those resources to the benefit of Zambians. And start using those resources to pay the debt. The day we pay the debt, we stop begging, floating around the world with the begging plate.
Wow, yeah.
That's the day we'll be respected.
Wachilufia Natasha Sana, thank you. Let me take some more calls and thank you.
Let me just make another one point. On UPND popularity. I don't think my UPND understand our politics. You, Amamba, you understand politics. UPND won my elections because it was a protest vote.
Against, yes. It was not a vote
against
for.
The PF. Against the PF. And the main reason why people didn't want the PF is because of the act violence from the cadres.
Yeah.
I'm American. So it was a protest vote. So in every election, they need to understand that they are swing voters. And it's the swing voters that voted for UPN.
Yes.
So they shouldn't think that 2.8 million is intact. No. It's not intact. And especially the way they've treated their strongholds. There is no way that 2.8 million will be intact.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned something very important on the voter protection. If the opposition, to start with, the opposition needs to be united.
Yeah.
The opposition needs to come up with one
candidate.
One leader, candidate. If that doesn't happen, forget. So one candidate and the opposition, it has to be UPND versus Zambia. Like what happened, UNIP versus the entire Zambia.
No, thank you very much, my brother. Let me take this call as well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. There are so many people calling. Please make your contribution. I notice you've been calling. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Honorable Sencho Banda, former MP. How are you, my dear brother?
Yeah. Fine, how are you?
Thank you for those views. You write very well. I'm impressed by your articles and continue to be brave. Make your contribution, Honorable Sencho Banda.
Yeah, firstly for me, I want to pick it from the president's speech where he says this particular problem of mental health has been an ongoing thing for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Much as I agree with him, because obviously, look at 2009, you had the Swedish government withdrawing temporarily support then the MMD government because of the same problem. In 2018 and 2019, the same thing happened. The support was withdrawn temporarily because of the accusation. And now we have got this problem at hand. And for me, UPND was voted in to come and make a difference.
Yeah.
And what is key, what should not lose sight of is that the donor community has played a critical role to complement successful governments to ensure that the lives of people are improved. And the ambassador did allude to the fact that about $600 million annually comes from the U.S. government. And for example, the PEPFAR fund, which is right now under review, is about $367 million. And when that is put under our carpet, if our decision goes contrary to ourselves, we will have serious problems. For argument's sake, the little progress we've made in various sectors of the economy and also social sectors, health, and so on and so forth, as a result of the support from these cooperating partners. And we've seen the EU coming handy to open up the budget support. They pledged about 6 million euros, and they gave us an initial 20 million euros for support budget. And furthermore, in 2024, May thereabout, they gave us 110. Again, the 60 million euros went towards the budgetary support, and the $50 million went to early child education in targeting Wapula and also Northwestern. This demonstrates the fact that we need these collaborating partners. And as such, when such issue was raised by the ambassador, and the government's role was
being a data call, maybe has received another call. It's cut. He may call back, but I think we got the point. Thank you, Honorable Bino Mpundu, Independent Member of Parliament from Nkana, and for that encouragement. And my brother, I'm very grateful. I commend you for being brave, for speaking despite the threats that have been issued against you, your tenure as Nkana MP, your role in Parliament, and even against your life, the numerous harassment, including arrest that you've suffered. Continue to speak for our country. Colleagues, I think it is very clear that this government has failed. But what do we do? Just hold on, we have someone calling. Please tell us your name and your number. Name and where you are calling from.
Yeah, this is David. Good evening, Mr. Emmanuel Mwamba. I don't know if it's morning or evening.
Yeah, tell me your time where you are. That will be fine.
It's 21:53.
Thank you. So please proceed to contribute.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity by Emmanuel Mwamba. Okay, so in the Falkland so it's number one. Vaishipera vanankani vaambassador vakuamerica ilavapere iranankani statement ilavapere now niwale dinkwete vaambassador valandira kwe vati ife intofu vareshi shamana ngani ma pharmaceuticals ma ARVs ma nomuti wa TB nomuti na ma anti-malarias. Now to the supplies is that not muna government na vatampuku ya vari ikata avantu ma mukuikata kwawo is it filofu varandire nani kani ambassador ishefiro vari ikata avantu fio varandire ambassador naona vatampuku fichitira muvi because not muna manje ofu vari ikata mana bafi manje vari ikate is it true ofu vari rani kani ofu vari randa nangu tafirena because tafire monika bwino batamba manje ukula chitafect manje amade chama business varia batamba ukula bekatiramu. Yesterday I followed balaba pharmaceutical association of bachitri explain wino yesterday alisa na yumvo basirera ndoko bati nabe ne government nabena muramwino moda abantu abali shtishomuti na government bamu abakwata ma hospitals baramukoda mu mulyamwe so nomba ira ine statement nomba na iba opposite bare ikatira mona abantu abakweta ma pharmacist nawo bare bekatira mu so longazi bamona fira bunch namba katwishingo bare randapo bare ikatira napana batamba fishika te manje so ni shofo chakulaba ni shunga balanda ba diplomacy ni chef yaku if you are Congo, because I was expecting the government to go and arrest the people who were involved in stealing of our ambassador. Non TV of very amquicata and Patambu like a teshikate. Otherwise, in a sheet temen. And then he imbiria shi oninga kwatu kulanda baona de Emmanuel ambassador wesu shi bene ama idiria shirana nkane shi benga ilipa topic ile shiria CDF opo batambira okushita pronounce ama jijitso tumonali ni paper fie nangu in actual sense tafimonika because achako ba CDF ida fuma wino Latwalimona ko bati for example mu Lusaka dalanda fi mu Lusaka for example ba PF bali bombere kwa about 85% abenga bekala kumunani kana mu areas ya machala la ya mashani bali bombere amatama kibali push ba station manje mu areas mumbi shetu bafika fyo kubomba fi CDF ngaira bombeka fi wino CDF ngaira chitika fi wino because almost to 5 years now, we don't see anything from them. It is just a press briefing after press briefing. Because footing wali imbi bali temo kulanda mairo wala mona uyalanda manjesi papusha na ba UPND media na bukuyalanda they are behaving like very more opposition. We should of mwale staba Emmanuel nangu te procedure ifite because the government government ngalanda Baba nankani media butafira nabena bamkulanduru na mafuti chichi boko tulea
crime iyo banana tasha mapwisha
na totera sana ba Emmanuel pakumpera kwa kakashita otherwise resale misungiriro mtendo koko muri.
Thank you very much. Thank you Honorable Sensio Banda and your contributions, and I think you were trying to say the cooperating partners have a critical space in the governance of our country because they just don't provide lip service, they provide us with cash. And the amounts, if you hear them, especially from the US, are large sums of money, $600 million a year. Budget support from the EU and others, big support. The other caller is talking about CDF, that is they can't see in communities what CDF has done. They just read about it or hear about people praising CDF, but it has no effect. Today we're discussing guarding the vote, securing the will of the people, how the opposition must ensure that when the Zambians express themselves, that will be honored, will be secured. It's the one that will be publicized. And what do? You have to secure institutions such as ECZ. ECZ must be independent. Parliament, you have to look at the laws, the raft of laws that President Hakainde Hichilema is enacting. And why does he want these constitutional amendments? What activities is the opposition engaged in to ensure that this is achieved? We are Kumatero. Let me just take this call, then we'll be closing. And hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Gilbert. Calling you from Chirirabombwe.
Yes, Gilbert.
Yes, I just want to agree with you when you talked about, the prospects of, the president winning or commanding at most about 34%. You see, although there could be complex, interplay to explain probably the Zambian voting pattern. But one thing that is very clear, if we have to call a spade and what it is that first of all, historically, Zambia, voting pattern exhibits, some form of, regional or ethnic alignments. Okay, and then if you begin to see the happenings of the eligibility, the Jeje Banda, the persecution of the former Republican president, you would see from the way Eastern Province did, during the Petauke. Actually, Eastern Province is might slowly adopting the Ndondomwezi way. And that what would happen, we know that demographically, Eastern might register more, but it will cancel the Southern shock. So if Eastern cancels the Southern shock, the other two regions where, the president exhibits some form of support will not cancel the other three. What will send the president back home, I think, is Copperbelt and Lusaka. Because historically, or in fact, studies show everywhere on this planet that urban vote follows or are influenced by economic performance.
Yeah, the state of the economy, yes.
He must do something extraordinary. He must bring rains in June. For Lusaka to swing and Copperbelt, he must do something extraordinary.
Yeah.
That will be the talk of the world. Okay. Because if Lusaka and Copperbelt can probably can have somewhere around 3.5 million of the people who would, register and participate in an election, he must go. He's going.
Yeah.
That's what he's sending. And then the other thing is that for the opposition, this is not the time to play. It's not the time to be ambitious.
Yeah.
Because nga uyunga mwamuparusha.
Thank you very much. My dear brother, you are back online. We lost you. We lost your thoughts. Kindly complete your thoughts, Honorable Sensio Banda.
Where did I end? Because the network cut.
You were telling us about the contributions that cooperating partners are putting in our national budget support from the US and the EU.
Okay. Yes. So basically, what it is that our cooperating partner, they indeed support the government to ensure that people's lives are improved. And I think it's only right. Aid is not a right; it's a partnership, and as such, it requires transparency, accountability, and integrity in how we manage public affairs. And even when the owners of them, in fact, in the speech by the ambassador was very categorical. Actually, he did the fact that he has a fiscal obligation to taxpayers in the US to ensure that the money is put into good use. And if that is not happening, he had the duty and the responsibility on behalf of government to make the decision, which was made, And as government, I think much as there was a claim to say there was a violation of the Vienna Convention of 1961 of diplomatic relations and so on and so forth, talks about the conduct and unity. But the issue is that how else we have the ambassador actually raise those issues? From the fact that 3 high-level meetings were held, and I'm told even contractor has made various stakeholders within government to ensure that this issue is raised.
Yeah.
And furthermore, it was very appalling that we had to wait for the forensic audit to act. But evidence was there. You need forensic audit to actually arrest people involved in the 61 containers of medicines, and some of them were on private premises. So I think for me, we need to be honest in how we manage public affairs, and the duty at speed squarely falls on the shoulders of the UPND government to safeguard the lives of the many Zambians. My fear is that with this is that already we have the PEPFAR fund under review under the executive order which was signed, and this PEPFAR fund is about $367 million. And PEPFAR fund most of the medicine gone intervention of essential drugs for ARV, malaria, TB, and all that. And if we look at the posture we have taken, if we look at the speech of the Health Minister, look at the speech of providing cautious assurance, and also you go look at the Foreign Affairs Minister, his emphasis to need to abide by the provision of the convention, and also the President, his broad speech. It is a common thread in it is that it's defensive and also passing the buck.
Yeah.
For me, that this was an opportunity to show accountability to the people, to show that the business to curtail what is going on at Minister of Health. Much as I agree with them, yes, this is not a new phenomenon. Minister of Health has been a conduit for corruption, like I did indicate earlier on. 2009, you had Swedish government, which was providing health budgets under they temporarily had to stop the funding and channeled it to other effective means to help the needy. It happened also in 2018, 2019, where funding for PF was actually temporarily halted. It has happened again. And for me, the fact that this government came on the pedestal of fighting corruption, they should have taken it as an opportunity to actually undertake odd reforms and also to ensure they deal with the issues which are at the root cause. Unlike where you go arrest the illegal pharmacies and so on and so forth. For me, basically,
at the end of the value chain.
Yes, that was basically what I might say from my own point of view is some kind of state accountability, so to say.
Yeah.
So so for me, they had an opportunity to deal with this conclusively. Yes, we know where people are, and that ministry has been pragmatic. They should have taken a which builds a relationship and trust with the people of Zambia and also with the donor community. Because what has happened is it's not just about aid being lost. It's about trust with the people, trust with the donor community. I think the government should take a posture of taking responsibility whenever an issue comes up. They're in charge. They have the instrument.
You can't pass it back.
Yes, So for me, I think there's need to really take responsibility and ensure that hole is plugged at the Ministry of Health. And deal with the people at the very top. You know, it's not helping you with the poor Zambians who are just at the tail end. You let go of high level a lot which is happening in high offices. So for me is that the backstops at the leadership, the backstop at the president. Time to pass the buck as people are looking for. They're looking for this government accountable to the people who put them in place. So I think that is my contribution.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sencho Banda. Thank you. Former MP. Today are two MPs calling. Current MP, Bino Mpundu, and former MP, Honorable Sencho Banda. And to all the callers that called from UK, but Chilufia from Leicester, and the other Chilufia, and the other colleagues that called from Chilawombwe and others, thank you for your contribution. We end today's program like we always do. We do a summary of what we're discussing. I'll play a few videos. Until I see you probably on Wednesday, God bless you. God bless our country. And God bless, or someone says, but read the visit to State House by our Lord Jesus Christ. Let me read it again. Thank you very much. I had postulated that if our Lord Jesus Christ visited State House and found President Hakainde Hichilema holding a cabinet meeting, this is what he would say: "Depart from me, for I was hungry, you ignored to provide food for me. You ignored to lower the cost of living." Christ is that person that is failing to put food on the table for his family while the money is being stolen and looted. Christ is a prisoner that is unfairly imprisoned and has been denied due process of the law. Christ is that student at college or university that is failing to meet his fees and failing to meet, is not supported by bursary or government support because the money is being stolen. Christ is that pensioner traveling every day to cabinet office, to public pension funds, to Ministry of Justice daily in an attempt to obtain his hard-earned pension benefits while the money is being pillaged, being stolen from pension houses. Christ is that activist that has been abducted or taken away in an unmarked vehicles and tortured. Christ would overturn the fancy conference table at State House and demand that you love your neighbor as yourself. Our Lord Jesus Christ would demand that you take care of all your neighbors, especially the least of these. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the sons of your own people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Truly I say unto you, to the extent that you did it to one of the least of these brothers of mine, you did it to me. That will be Christ. Good night, and listen to these videos.
Yes.
You accuse diplomats.
Yes, some. I use the word some.
Some diplomats of working with the opposition.
And I'm repeating it. I'm repeating it this evening. We have seen some diplomats accredited to Zambia and ambassadors. Some. Underline that. And they should stop it. We don't.
How are they working with opposition?
They're working. How? Listen. They're working with the opposition. They are working with the CSOs to undermine the Zambian, the nation's sovereignty. Where we are saying we need to amend the constitution. And one of the key components is the delimitation, depriving the people of Zambia. But then this diplomat wants to be funny, funding people to say, no, you must make sure that this constitution does not go through. And you must make sure that this government is hounded out. My brother, he comes here in Mafinga. Now I'm speaking on behalf of the people of Mafinga. The diplomat comes here in this country to come and disturb the people of Mafinga who are enjoying the CDF, who are enjoying the social cash transfer, who are enjoying the enhanced social cash transfer, who now Mafinga, whenever the road, the tar road between us road from 1964, we are being given the road. Where we were moving, we were taking patients from Mafinga to Isoka. Then this diplomat comes and say, what? No. I don't have even an apology.
You are not even apologizing.
No, to those diplomats. No ways. And I'm encouraging the government to say, if they are not going to do it, we'll find ways and means.
So you know them?
I know them and they know themselves. I know them. That were not. I'm not even apologizing. They came here.
Zambia, as I said,
for the program.
Reiterate what we have mentioned before as a ministry of the need for the use of formal diplomatic channels in communicating with the general public. We'd like to take this opportunity to again request our cooperating partners to take cognizance of the clear provisions of international law, including the provisions of the Vienna Convention of 1961, which outlines the expectations of conduct among diplomatic representatives, including the obligation to respect the laws and regulations of the receiving state.
Yeah, those
To come in December.
appointed colleagues to make sure that they come on board, and we are hoping that we can move together. The issue of the procurement of medicine, most of it with short shelf life, the major challenge we have had, and I would want to say this, sometimes when we fail, we should admit, is that the ZAMSA project, I could only describe it as a failed project. We have seen pilferages from the top up to the driver, up to the security guard and everyone else. And what we are discussing now is, can we have a ZAMSA reset? Not business as usual. And one of the things I've been having meetings with the cooperating partners, the entire health sector was run by, most of it was run by the US government. We are receiving $600 million on an annual basis, $450 million going into the health sector. I asked the colleagues, the contracts manager from USAID, I had a meeting with the PS, we have been having meetings with them to try and talk about the reset of ZAMSA and how we fill in the void because USAID is going out. And I had a meeting with the contracts manager for USAID. How much does it cost for ZAMSA to distribute the medicine? 3.5 times the cost of what it costs for these agencies that are helping us to do this work. 3.5 times. So if we say ZAMSA starts distributing the medicine and we don't reset ZAMSA, it means we are going to increase the cost by 3.5 times. We had another situation where there was a report, there was no medicine at ZAMSA in 2002. We went in 2003, we had a lot of money.
And in December, we'll sit again to now agree what sanctions need to be taken. I must alert you as citizens that the health sector has been dogged with problems for probably 20 years. And we are committed to rooting out those problems. But we can't do it by a thumbsuck. We have to pin down where the problems are, right? Who is taking drugs? How is it that drugs leave a health process system, end up in private pharmacies, some of which are owned by people working in the same health sector? We have now established where the problem is. And when we come to you for your support, we will lay the report on the table that this is what's been going on, and these are the actions we are taking. And we are determined, if we have to remove 100 people, so it will be.
$100 million a year. That's nearly 17 billion kwacha annually toward our shared goals of economic development and improved health and public well-being. Roughly 1 in every 3 kwacha spent on public health in Zambia comes as grant assistance from the American people. As part of this, in recent years, the United States has provided approximately $128 million annually. That's about 3.5 billion kwacha every year to buy medications to treat HIV, malaria, and tuberculosis, as well as to provide the technical and operational support for Zambia's national health supply chain. These medications and supplies are intended to be provided for free to the Zambian patients in need. Now today, millions of Zambians are living longer, healthier lives because of this assistance, which comes again in the form of grants, not loans, provided by the American taxpayer. We're incredibly proud to have partnered with Zambia to...
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Alright, that's all for you today, lovely viewers. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the video you just watched in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you, lovely viewers. Once again, I go by the name of Mutati Mpundu. I love you, peace, I gotta go.